Hello friends, I welcome you all for this wonderful webinar on how the Nifty index is calculated. As a student of commerce or as a general citizen, many of us are always fascinated by stock markets and everything. So our today's objective is to understand how this Nifty index is going to be calculated and various concepts. I'm going to cover some basic concepts for calculation of Nifty as well as some advanced concepts. So even if you know few concepts, my friend, you should be listening to it patiently. About 30-40 minutes, I will try to cover up every concept. There are some wonderful concepts that are going to come your way. So I request a patient listening, and after the lecture is over, please do give your feedback through WhatsApp, whether you understood the concepts or not. There are some wonderful concepts coming up your way. Some points I'm going to skip for some later sessions, which I'm going to record and put up separately onto YouTube, like standard deviation calculations, futures, and other things. There are some points which additionally I need to cover up in addition to this session, advanced points. So without wasting any time, let me proceed ahead. So here we go. Calculation of Nifty index. So first, some basics about the index number. Very basic about index number. So in a mathematical sense or in a common sense, index number is simply a number which shows the variation in the value of something. That something को हम technical language में बोलते हैं underlying. That underlying can be your weight also. Underlying can be your family's weight or how many rotis you consume. It can be price also, to be on a formal side. It can be quantity produced by farmers. It can be industrial production index number. It can be index number of consumer prices. It can be wholesale price. It can be index number of interest rates. So index number is simply a number which shows how much is a change in a value of an underlying. Underlying can be anything to anything. How much is a change in a value of a underlying during a particular period with reference to a base value. So there is going to be a base value, there is going to be a current value. So we find out how much is a change during a particular period. That change, in order to calculate the change, index number is required to be calculated. Remember, index number on its own doesn't show the percentage change. You have to calculate a percentage change after you calculate the index number. So एक mathematically एक simple formula end में लिखा है मैंने, देखो. It is a current value of an underlying divided by a base value of an underlying multiplied by a base number. Today's value divided by base value into a base. Base number can be 100, can be 1000, can be anything. So you will get if a base number is 100, a current number may be, let's say, 435. Those who have learned income tax, they would have learned for capital gain calculations, you would have learned cost price index number or cost inflation index, CII, for capital gain calculation in income tax. तो वो index number अगर let's say cost inflation index number is 1300. I don't know the exact number right now for income tax purpose right now, whatever it could be. Let's say it is 1300. If it is 1300, it means the time when it was set, base value was 100 and today's number is 1300. From that time to this time, the change is 13 times. Percentage you will have to work out 1300 minus 100 divided by 100 into 100. So index number is simply a number which tells you a change that has taken place right from the base date till the current date. It is helpful for doing comparisons over different time frames. They just simplify the complicated comparisons for the purpose of measurement and decision making also. And the best part with this index number is, you know what? It works with any unit of measurement. So your underlying could be measured in kgs, underlying could be quantity, underlying could be liters, underlying could be price, underlying could be a development index. It can be anything. Underlying can be absolutely anything to anything. You can create an index number. There are a lot of innovative index numbers, but our today's objective is to understand an index number called as Nifty. So before I start explaining a Nifty index number, formula is very easy. See, there is no big game in a formula. Formula is comparatively easier. Problem is in terms of the background that is required to be understood for that particular formula. So I'm giving some basics. First basic, you have to understand what is the total market capitalization of a company. Very simple. Total shares that are issued by a company multiplied by price per share is known as a total market capitalization. Understood by everyone. Nothing great. It is also called MCAP. On the basis of market cap, you know that the companies are divided into three parts: large cap companies, mid cap companies, and a small cap companies. On a stock exchange, top 100 companies are called as a large cap. 101 to 250 is mid cap. 251 onwards is a small cap. So on the basis of market capitalization, you classify the companies. But for the purpose of calculating this Nifty index number, we don't need total market capitalization. We need free float market capitalization. So what do you mean by this free float? Out of your total shares, there are a certain number of shares which are never going to come onto stock exchange for trading. Let's say Reliance Industries. Reliance Industry has got 10 crore shares. Assume, for example, out of 10 crore, 40% is owned by Ambani family, 4 crore shares. Do you think that Mukesh Ambani and Nita Ambani and their children or the family members keep on trading in the shares? चलो यार आज Reliance खरीद 10 हो गए 9:15 अपना ऐप खोल दिया और चालू हो गया ट्रेडिंग करना? नहीं. So the shares which are held by the promoters or the strategic investors or government are not held for trading. But so price changes only when there is a trade that takes place in the market. So in order to calculate the index number for a stock, we have a concept of free float number of shares. It is nothing but shares which are available for trading on a stock exchange out of total shares. In simple language, out of total shares, certain shares are going to be excluded. Which shares are excluded? Look at this. While calculating the free float number of shares, we exclude certain number of shares. Which are those? Number one, shares which are held by promoter and promoter group. Government holding as a strategic investor. Government is always a strategic investor. Government is normally a strategic investor. It's not for trading purpose. But shares held by the promoters through American depository receipt or a global depository receipt. This can happen in case your promoter is from foreign country. So they own the shares through a mechanism of depository receipt, which is depository receipt is an instrument which entitles you to shares of a company. So multiple shares put together is a depository receipt. It is used for raising money from abroad. Strategic stakes held by the corporate bodies. So in a company, if someone already owns some stake, which is for strategic purpose, it is not for the purpose of day-to-day trading. Investments that have come to India under FDI, foreign direct investment category. Equity held by associate companies or your group companies, also called the cross holdings. Shares which are owned by employee welfare trusts. And shares which are in lock-in category. In shares ko aapko exclude karna hai from total number of shares. Then you will get something called as a free float number of shares. So total shares में से इनको minus करो, आपको क्या मिल गया? Free float number of shares. And then you calculate one factor. It's a new term, technical term. You should be, I told you, very, very careful about technical terms. Bare text से technical terms मिलना चाहिए तुमको. Technical term here is investable weight factor. Investable weight factor, IWF, which is nothing but proportion of free float number of shares divided by total issued shares. It is calculated up to 2 decimals. So for example, if Mukesh Ambani and his family, as well as other strategic investors in Reliance, like Facebook is not an investor in Reliance Industries. It is an investor in Reliance Jio. But let's say there is some strategic investor put together, they own 45.38 percentage shares. 45.38 is held by promoter and other investors. So my investable weight factor will be, out of your total shares, how much is the free float? Free float nikalna hai tumko. 45.38 is held by promoters. So 45.38 you should deduct. You should deduct out of 100. I hope you understood. So that will be giving you 54.62. 54.62 is a free float number of shares. That is called investable weight factor, or 0.5462 or 54.62. So your free float market capitalization is a total market capitalization into IWF, investable weight factor. In a simple language, total shares other than the shares held by promoters, lock-in, government, strategic investors, exclude karo, multiplied by price per share is a free float market capitalization. Higher the free float market capitalization or higher the IWF, it means there are more public investors. More the public investor, more shares will come to the market for trading. See, ये लोगों ने जो shares held किए ना, ये अगले पेज पे जो है, these shares don't come for trading. So whenever we work out an index number, we look at the shares which are likely to come for trading. आप बोलेंगे सर ऐसा क्यों सर? अरे कॉमन सेंस लगाओ, प्राइस कब चेंज होगा? Price will change only because of the shares which come to the market for trading. Price will never change because of the shares which are owned by Mukesh Ambani and his family in Reliance Industry. Because those shares are not for trading. Those shares are held for a long-term investment. Mukesh Ambani is not going to sell his shares on stock exchange. उतना capacity नहीं है market का. Reliance का average turnover जो दिन का होता है, let's say 1.5 से 2,000 करोड़ रुपए का turnover होता है in market, purchase sale का average. It can be high on some days, lower on some days. Ab Mukesh Ambani alone owns the shares of, let's say, his entire family owns the shares of 4 lakh crores. तो अगर मुकेश अंबानी स्टॉक एक्सचेंज पे आ गया और मैं बोलता है कि मेरे को 4 लाख करोड़ के शेयर्स बेचने गए, there will no buyer. So he is not going to sell the shares on stock exchange. He may sell it outside the stock exchange. So इनको छोड़ के बाकी जो शेयर्स है उनकी मार्केट वैल्यू निकालो, उसको हम बोलते हैं फ्री फ्लोट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन. याद रखना, ये आगे फॉर्मूला में काम आने वाला है. इंडेक्स नंबर का फॉर्मूला है, बहुत अच्छे अच्छे कंसेप्ट्स आने वाले तुम्हारे लिए. हैव पेशेंस. सो ये फ्री फ्लोट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन हो गया, ये बेसिक टर्म था. नाउ देयर इज अ ब्यूटी. नाउ दिस इज नॉट नोन टू मेनी पीपल. देयर आर व्हाट यू सी ऑन अ स्टॉक न्यूज़पेपर्स और let's say CNBC, Money Control or anywhere is a Nifty price return. Nifty price return. Do you know how much is a Nifty today? 12,664 on 6th May 2020. You will say, sir, are you under the influence of alcohol? No, I am not. I don't drink alcohol. 12,664 is a Nifty value. आप बोलेगा क्या सर? 9,270 था, वो 12,000 कहां से किए तुमने? That is Nifty total return index. There are two variants of Nifty which you should understand, because ultimately if you have to make an investment, which how to use this knowledge I covered at the end of the slides. What is going to matter to you is not a Nifty. What is going to matter to you is a Nifty TRI. Nifty आपके लिए relevant नहीं है. Nifty TRI relevant है. Nifty total returns index. आप बोलोगे ये क्या है सर? बच्चों, निफ्टी जो नंबर आपको न्यूज़पेपर में दिखता है, that is just a change in the prices of the shares of the company. When you invest in a share of any company, you get the returns in two ways. Number one is change in the prices, that is called the capital gain or capital loss as the case may be. And number two is in the form of dividend. जो निफ्टी का वैल्यू तुम देखते हैं ना वेबसाइट्स पे या कहीं पे भी, वो नॉर्मली लिखा रहता है निफ्टी प्राइस इंडेक्स, which is just considering prices of the shares. It does not consider dividend that is declared by those companies. So considering the dividend also, there is an index number which is required to be calculated, called as a total return index. And this is very, very important. Because अगर आपने सच में इन्वेस्ट करना है निफ्टी के अंदर, कैसे करना है बोलता हूं आगे जाके. What is relevant to you is not Nifty price index. What is relevant to you is a Nifty total return index. Nifty total return index is more relevant. So Nifty price index is a change in the prices. However, the true picture of returns is considered only when you consider a dividend. So total return index reflects the returns that you earn through price change as well as dividend. तो बेसिकली टोटल रिटर्न इंडेक्स में क्या करते हैं हम कि जो भी डिविडेंड कंपनी ने डिक्लेयर किया है, वी अज्यूम दैट डिविडेंड इज रीइन्वेस्टेड बाय द इन्वेस्टर एट ऑन एक्स डिविडेंड डेट. एक्स डिविडेंड मतलब डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर होने के बाद का डेट जो रहता है उसको एक्स डिविडेंड डेट बोलते हैं. टेक्निकली एक्स डिविडेंड डेट, दोज हु हैव डन द law syllabus or group 1 accounts, investment accounting chapter of intermediate, or general knowledge, those who have will know ex dividend date. Excluding dividend, dividend declare होने के बाद का जो डेट रहता है उसको बोलते हैं एक्स डिविडेंड डेट. तो हम अज्यूम करते हैं कि जो जो डिविडेंड तुमको मिला है वो डिविडेंड तुमने री इन्वेस्ट किया निफ्टी के अंदर ही, निफ्टी प्राइस इंडेक्स के अंदर. तो राइट नाउ टुडे निफ्टी ये यहां पर दिखा है, ये देखो आज का 6 मई 2020 का, नहीं 6 मई का नहीं है, 5 मई का है. आज का निफ्टी टीआरआई अभी तक अवेलेबल नहीं था, सो दैट्स व्हाई आई टुक यस्टरडे. 5 मई 2020 निफ्टी प्राइस इंडेक्स was 9205, but nifty total return index was 12964. you will say इतना ज्यादा. हाँ, क्योंकि निफ्टी चालू हुआ 1996 में. 1996 से 2020 में इतने साल डिविडेंड मिलते गया और डिविडेंड को आप प्लाउ बैक करते गए, प्लाउ बैक करते गए, प्लाउ बैक करते गए. तो निफ्टी टोटल रिटर्न इंडेक्स इज मच हायर देन द निफ्टी. सो जब आपको इन्वेस्टमेंट करना है बच्चों, यू शुड लुक एट नॉट द निफ्टी प्राइस इंडेक्स, यू शुड लुक एट निफ्टी टोटल रिटर्न्स इंडेक्स. That is used as a benchmark by investor, because when you buy a stock, you are going to get both. And now this is a very advanced level concept. Too good concept. ये खतरनाक concept है. I don't think anyone will be aware about this particular concept. Impact cost. खतरनाक concept है. This concept is required for understanding which companies are going to be included in Nifty. ये concept बहुत बहुत important है. See, in a Nifty, we are going to include only those companies which have liquidity in the market. Market में liquidity का मतलब क्या है? If you go on to buy, there should be seller, or if you go on to sell, there should be buyer. अगर ऐसे कंपनी को तुमने निफ्टी में इंक्लूड किया जिसमें बायर है लेकिन सेलर नहीं है, या सेलर है लेकिन बायर नहीं है, तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा. It can happen sometimes when stock hits upper circuit or lower circuit. बट इमेजिन करो रेगुलर बेसिस पे एक कंपनी में बायर ही रहता है लेकिन सेलर रहता ही नहीं है, सेलर रहता है लेकिन बायर नहीं रहता है, तो वैसे कंपनी को इंक्लूड करना मुश्किल हो जाएगा. टू इंश्योर दैट देयर इज अ लिक्विडिटी इन द स्टॉक एंड यू इंक्लूड ओनली क्वालिटी कंपनीज, देयर इज अ कांसेप्ट ऑफ इंपैक्ट कॉस्ट, एंड दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्राइटेरिया. दिस क्राइटेरिया इज used for selecting which companies will become part of Nifty. I covered that later. But concept pehle suno. Liquidity comes from the buyers and sellers in the market who are constantly on a lookout for buying and selling opportunities, right? Lack of liquidity translates into very high cost for the buyer and seller. अब बोलेंगे मतलब अगर मैंने अभी buy कर लिया और immediately मुझे sell करना है, assume for example, if you buy it immediately but there is, and when you go on to sell, if there are no buyers later, you have a very high cost. So there should be liquidity in the market. If there is no liquidity in the market, bachcho, your cost goes up. For example, if you wish to buy a very large quantity of shares of a particular company and there are no sellers, there are no seller in the market, bachcho, तुम्हारा cost बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाएगा, because you will have to keep on increasing the price to get the quantity. Let's say you want to buy 5 lakh shares of some company और market में total seller available है सिर्फ 2 lakh shares के लिए. So you will be able to get the shares only if you start increasing the price so that the seller comes forward and starts selling. तो मुझे समझना है कि liquidity है या नहीं है, वो कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं, उसके लिए कंसेप्ट है impact cost. That is what I am explaining. तो बैकग्राउंड है यहाँ पर, ये डेफिनेशन अगले पेज पे. Now whenever you want to trade on a stock exchange through a broker, you get an order book which is nothing but total buy orders and total sell order. It is called the order book. Persons who are willing to buy, उनका buy order रहता है, और जो लोग सेल कर रहे हैं उनका सेल ऑर्डर रहता है. When you specify the price at which you want to buy or price at which you want to sell, it is called as a limit order. So limit order book is an ideal concept of creating a marketplace because there are buy orders and sell orders, and it allows anyone in the market to execute the orders against the best available counter orders. Counter order मतलब अगर मेरे को buy करना है तो मैं सामने देखता हूँ सेलर क्या रेट पे खड़ा है, या मुझे सेल करना है तो बायर क्या रेट पे है वहां पर मार्केट में, वो मुझे ऑर्डर बुक देख के समझता है. So liquidity is basically quantity of shares outstanding, quantity of shares in outstanding order lying on the buy side as well as sell side of order book. So I given the example of order book on the next page. But buy orders are referred to as bid orders, sell orders are referred to as ask order, and the difference between the price of the bid and the price of ask is called the bid ask spread. ये बेसिक हो गया. अब मैं डेफिनेशन पे आता हूं. डेफिनेशन कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है बट बहुत आराम से समझ जाएगा. नेक्स्ट पेज पे एक एग्जांपल रखा है, उसके लिए सिंपल एग्जांपल रखा है मैंने, बट ये समझना जरूरी है. ये टेक्निकल कॉन्सेप्ट है. इफ यू आर डूइंग अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंसी कोर्स यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस टेक्निकल कॉन्सेप्ट. Impact cost represents the cost of executing a transaction in a given stock for a specific predefined order size at any given point of time. तो अगर आपको ट्रांजैक्शन एग्जीक्यूट करना है तो उसके लिए आपको कितना ज्यादा पे करना पड़ता है एट द टाइम ऑफ बाइंग, या कितना कम मिलेगा एट द टाइम ऑफ सेलिंग. आई रिपीट. इफ यू वांट टू बाय, हाउ मच एक्स्ट्रा यू विल हैव टू पे, और इफ यू वांट टू सेल, हाउ मच लेस यू विल गेट. आप बोलेंगे सर हाउ मच एक्स्ट्रा विल हैव टू पे मतलब एक्स्ट्रा देन द बेस्ट, extra than the ideal price. There is something called ideal price. जब आपको बड़े क्वांटिटी में बाय करना है तो आपको आइडियल प्राइस से ज्यादा पे करना पड़ता है, या जब आपको सेल करना है तो आइडियल प्राइस से आपको कम पैसा मिलता है. आप बोलोगे ऐसा? हाँ होता है. सुनो, व्हाट इज आइडियल प्राइस? नीचे लिखा है, देखो लास्ट लाइन पे लिखा है, बेस्ट बाय प्राइस प्लस बेस्ट सेल प्राइस डिवाइडेड बाय 2 इज नोन एज अ आइडियल प्राइस. देखो एग्जांपल देखो अगले पेज पे. सिंपल एग्जांपल है, ऑर्डर बुक है, ये ब्लू कलर में देखो ऑर्डर बुक है. उधर क्या लिखा है ऑर्डर बुक में? लेफ्ट साइड पे बाय ऑर्डर है, बाय क्वांटिटी एंड बाय प्राइस. सो देयर आर 3 ऑर्डर्स फॉर बाइंग. कितना है 3 ऑर्डर्स? 1000 का एक ऑर्डर है एट 98. दीज आर कॉल्ड लिमिट ऑर्डर्स. 1000 का ऑर्डर है एट 98, 2000 का ऑर्डर है क्वांटिटी का एट 97, एंड 1000 का अगेन ऑर्डर है एट 96. सो टोटल बाय ऑर्डर्स आर फॉर 4000 shares, and sell order is also for 4500 shares. 3500, 1000 at 99, 1500 at 100 and 1000 at 101. 3500 का सेल क्वांटिटी का ऑर्डर है, बाय क्वांटिटी का ऑर्डर है 4000 का टोटल. सो ये ऑर्डर है. नाउ व्हाट इज द बेस्ट रेट टू बाय? बेस्ट रेट टू बाय इज 96. लो नीचे है जो सबसे बेस्ट बाय इज 96 फ्रॉम योर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, क्योंकि सबसे सस्ता है, बट दैट इज नॉट कॉल्ड एज अ बेस्ट बाय. Best buy is not called as a 96, it is called as 98. आप बोलेंगे सर हाउ? बेस्ट बाय मतलब हाईएस्ट बाय प्राइस किसने बिड किया है. अगर आपको बेस्ट बाय इज फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ सेलर. अगर सेलर्स के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, लेट्स से लुक एट दिस, बेस्ट बाय इज नॉट द लोएस्ट बाय प्राइस. प्लीज रिमेंबर दैट. बेस्ट बाय इज नॉट द लोएस्ट बाय प्राइस. अगर सेलर सेल करना चाहता है तो उसके लिए कौन मिलेगा? बायर मिलेगा. बायर 98 पे खरीदने के लिए तैयार है ज्यादा से ज्यादा. सो मैक्सिमम प्राइस विच अ बायर इज विलिंग टू पे इज कॉल्ड द बेस्ट बाय प्राइस, एंड द लोएस्ट प्राइस which seller is willing to sell is called as a best sell. आप बोलेंगे क्यों सर? क्योंकि ट्रांजैक्शन जब एग्जीक्यूट होगा ना सेल में से, whenever a transaction of sale is going to be executed, stock exchanges are going to execute a transaction of lower sale price first, and whenever a buy transaction is going to be executed, it is a transaction of highest price which is going to be executed first. ये कॉमन सेंस है. कॉमन सेंस लगाओ जरा. जब तुमने बाय ऑर्डर डाला, तुम्हारा ऑर्डर को प्रायोरिटी, जिसने 96 पे ऑर्डर डाला है उसका ऑर्डर बाद में एग्जीक्यूट होगा, देन द पर्सन हु हैज पुट द ऑर्डर एट 98. कॉमन सेंस लगाओ यार. अगर मैं 98 पे खरीदने के लिए तैयार हूं और तुम 96 पे खरीदने के लिए तैयार हो, मेरा ऑर्डर पहले एग्जीक्यूट हो जाएगा. सो 98 इज अ बेस्ट बाय and 99 is the best sell. Average of the two is 98.5. That 98.5 is called the ideal price. So logically, you should be able to buy at 98.5 or sell at 98.5. That is the point. But अगर आपको 1500 शेयर खरीदना है, let us assume you want to buy 1500 shares. क्या करना पड़ेगा रे तुमको? You have to buy 1000 shares. You have to buy 1000 shares at 99. आप बोलेंगे सर क्यों 1000 shares at 99? You have to buy 1500. तो आपको सेल साइड का देखना है, सेल साइड देखना है, ये साइड 1000 at 99. You will have, oh my mistake, 1000 at 99 you will have to buy and 500 at the rate of 100. तो 99 के रेट पे 1000 शेयर्स आ गए और 500 के 100 के रेट पे 500 शेयर्स आ गए, डिवाइड बाय 1500. You bought it at 99.33. Oh my God! Ideal price was 98.5, but you went on buying at 99.33. So the impact cost is called the difference between 99.33 minus 98.5 divided by 98.5 into 100. Impact cost is 0.84%. 0.84. It is not per annum. It is simple. 0.84%. What is the use of this? Only companies whose impact cost is below 0.5% are going to be included in Nifty. निफ्टी में जो कंपनीज होते हैं उनका इंपैक्ट कॉस्ट बहुत कम रहता है बिकॉज वहां पे लिक्विडिटी रहता है. व्हेन लिक्विडिटी इज नॉट देयर, इंपैक्ट कॉस्ट इज वेरी हाई. लिक्विडिटी होना चाहिए मार्केट में. लिक्विडिटी मतलब अगर आप सेल करने जा रहे हो तो सामने बायर होना चाहिए, या अगर आप बाय करने जा रहे हो तो सामने सेलर होना चाहिए. यू शुड नॉट इन्वेस्ट इन इलिक्विड स्टॉक्स. इट बिकम्स वेरी रिस्की समटाइम्स. आई एम नॉट सेइंग एज अ जनरल थंब रूल, बट अगर बहुत स्मॉल कैप कंपनी और इलिक्विड है तो यू कैन हैव अ वेरी हाई इंपैक्ट कॉस्ट. So, bachcho, you should understand that there are 3 lines which are written. It should be, however, emphasized that impact cost is separately computed for buy and sell. Impact cost may vary for different transaction sizes. I took a transaction size as 1,500 shares. Impact cost is dynamic and depends on the number of outstanding order. It keeps on changing. It is not same forever. So, bachcho, ये impact cost का concept आपको चाहिए था. So, I created a background for understanding of Nifty. ये background था. Free float market capitalization आपको समझा, आपको इंपैक्ट कॉस्ट समझा. सो इससे आगे अभी इंडेक्स नंबर पे आ जाता हूं. सो अबाउट निफ्टी सम बेसिक स्टैट्स. दिस इज लाइक ए न्यूज़पेपर रिपोर्टिंग. निफ्टी 50 इज ट्रैकर ऑफ बिहेवियर ऑफ अ प्राइस ऑफ अ 50 कंपनीज which are called as a blue chip companies. Good quality companies को blue chip बोलते हैं. They are largest 50 companies and they are also most liquid companies, right? So it represents price changes of companies listed on a national stock exchange. Nifty is of national stock exchange. Roughly, there are 1,600 companies which are actively traded on the national stock exchange. Please remember when I said that 50 largest companies, that size keeps on changing on a daily basis. You may have a company in a Nifty which is not in the largest 50 company, like Yes Bank. When it was there, it was not the largest. It was not among the largest 50 companies. It is based on the time of inclusion. So these are 50 companies picked up, largest from their respective sector point of view, you can say. You should understand it is a portfolio of 50 companies, blue chip companies from different sectors, which is picked. Eligibility criteria I have kept on next page. A very important point here. Third line, ठीक से देखो, why Nifty or index number is important. Index number should be representative of a market. If a Nifty is a representative of an NSE market, its free float market capitalization should be very high. Nifty का जो free float market capitalization, Nifty के जो 50 कंपनी है, free float market capitalization of these 50 companies is almost 65% of total free float market capitalization of all those 1,600 companies. In a base, that means it is a representative of a market. Because 65% of the free float market is covered in those 50 companies only. So that's why they are called the representative. Right? Imagine if all the ministers in the central government of India are from Uttar Pradesh. Can we really say that that government is representative of India? Answer is no. That's why while forming a government, a prime minister has to pick up the ministers from different states so that it is representative. We say Indian Parliament is a representative of Indian democracy. Why? Because we have sent one member of Parliament from each constituency. Like that, Nifty is the representative of Indian market. Then last line is very, very important. I have seen a lot of illiterate public saying that, oh, Nifty has gone down, matlab India's economy is in problem. Or Nifty has gone up, matlab Indian economy is doing too good. No, there is absolutely no positive or 1:1 correlation between Nifty and the Indian economy. Yes, Nifty covers majority sectors of Indian economy, but it will be an illiteracy to say that a Nifty represents Indian economy or changes in Nifty are changes in national income of India. That is illiteracy. Nifty is an index number of 50 companies' prices. It doesn't tell you everything about Indian economy. Like Indian economy was in a problem, but still Nifty was at highest possible level. You will say, sir, ऐसा कैसे होता है, sir? I mean, just before Corona, Nifty was almost at 12,000. Nifty at 12,200. Nifty was at 12,200 before Corona. The Indian economy was still in problem at that point of time. आप बोलेंगे ऐसा कैसे? Please understand the logic. Share prices or a market, equity market, is a discounting mechanism. क्या word use किया मैंने? Discounting mechanism. That means market prices are present value of what is going to happen in the future. Whereas economy is a reality at that point of time. Economy is not a present perception of what is going to be earned in the future years. National income is not a present value of future national incomes. National income is the income earned in that particular year, GDPs of that particular year. Whereas the stock prices are basically discounting mechanism. Market starts discounting the things. So before coronavirus, it was discounted by the market that government of India will come up with some measures to revive the Indian economy and then we will be able to take advantage of it. But now the situation has changed. That's why market has collapsed. So do not say that Nifty or Sensex are representative of Indian economy. Some facts about the Nifty 50. It was launched on 22nd of April 1996. So almost 24 years we have here. Base date is 3rd November 1995. Base value is not 22nd April. It was launched on 22nd April, but base value was 3rd November 1995. So launch date was basically 1 year after the formation of National Stock Exchange. Base value is 1000. It is not 100. For Sensex, it is 100. But for Nifty, it is 1000. And the free float market capitalization in 1996 was 2,06,000 crore approximately. Exact nahi hai ye. Thoda bahut change ho gaya. This is what I had done the calculations in the month of October 2019. This is because base free float market capitalization undergoes a change. अब बोले क्या सर बेस वैल्यू कैसे चेंज हो सकता है? यहां पर बेस वैल्यू चेंज होता है. बेस वैल्यू चेंज होता है. ये नॉर्मल इंडेक्स नंबर नहीं है. बेस वैल्यू चेंजेस. बेस वैल्यू 1000 वो वाला नहीं. बेस फ्री फ्लोट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन चेंजेस. क्यों है आगे लिखा है मैंने. हैव पेशेंस. So 2,06,000 crore it was back then. It is calculated using free float market capitalization method on a real time basis every day, and there is an index rebalancing done on 31st Jan and 31st July. Like new stocks are added or existing stocks are removed, but that does not happen on every 31st Jan and every 31st July. If there is a criteria being met by new companies, then it happens. Since 1996 till now, around 16-17 times only index has been rebalanced. ऐसा मतलब नहीं कि हर साल हर बार ये rebalancing होता है. So 24 years में twice, 24 into 2, 48 times rebalancing होना चाहिए था. 48 times हुआ ही नहीं है. 16 times only index has undergone a change. 1/6. So it is a price index. It is not a total return index. When I say Nifty 50, it is a price index. When I say Nifty 50 TRI, then it is a total return index. So I told you a difference between the price index and the total return index. It was a good concept. So how is a Nifty calculated? Formula is very simple बच्चों. Formula complicated नहीं है. Understand करना ना वो base वो complicated है. वो अगले पेज पे आने वाला है. And then एक खतरनाक concept आने वाला है. 2-3 बहुत खतरनाक concepts आगे. Nifty is current free float market capitalization. Free float market capitalization of all those 50 companies put together, divided by base free float market capitalization in 2000. तो बच्चों आप लोग भी निफ्टी का कैलकुलेशन कर सकते हो. वो उसके लिए मैं अलग वीडियो बना के डालने वाला हूं. यू कैन ऑल्सो डू इट. आप बोलेंगे सर कैसे? 50 कंपनीज का लिस्ट नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज की वेबसाइट पे अवेलेबल है. खुद सर्च कर लेना, समझ में आएगा. फॉर दोस 50 कंपनीज यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट अ फ्री फ्लोट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन व्हिच इज नॉट गिवन इजीली बाय एनएसई. हर एक कंपनी का शेयर का प्राइस देखोगे तो वहां पे नीचे फ्री फ्लोट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन लिखा रहता है. दिखाता हूं तुमको, जस्ट अ सेकंड. Let me share my entire screen with you people, so you'll be able to see. uh, just a second. Yes. So मैं आपको फ्री फ्लोट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन कहां से मिलेगा दिखाता हूं. मैं एनएससी की वेबसाइट पर चला गया, नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज. On national stock exchange, let's say I search for Reliance Industries, Reliance Industries Limited. उसके ऊपर मैंने सिलेक्ट किया और एंटर किया है मैंने. वो नेट थोड़ा सा फास्ट है मेरा तो इसलिए स्लो. दिस इज ओल्ड वेबसाइट ऑफ नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज. यू कैन गो टू द न्यू वेबसाइट ऑल्सो. हाँ, मैंने क्लिक नहीं किया था, नेट वाज ओके, मेरा मिस्टेक था. सो हियर यू विल सी अ प्राइस ऑफ RIL 1461.5 is a price per share of Reliance Industries. per share प्राइस है. यहां पर आपको देखो टोटल फ्री फ्लोट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन मिलता है 1461 is a per share, but free float market capitalization is 4,72,264. 4,72,000. This is free float. This is not a total. Total market capitalization of Reliance is approximately 8 lakh or more than 8 lakh crores. You have to check out how much. NSE के वेबसाइट पे नहीं मिलता है यहाँ पर. मनी कंट्रोल या कहीं पे आप जाके देख सकते हो टोटल. So free float is only 4,72,000. That is shares held by persons other than promoters in a simple language. तो ऐसे 50 कंपनी का लिस्ट मिलेगा तुमको. कहां पे मिलेगा? ये ओल्ड वेबसाइट है, न्यू वेबसाइट पे भी मिलता है. विद इन प्रोडक्ट्स देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड इंडाइसेस. आई गो टू इंडाइसेस. प्रोडक्ट्स के अंदर मैंने इंडाइसेस के ऊपर क्लिक किया. विद इन इंडाइसेस यू कैन गो अबाउट इंडाइसेस. अबाउट इंडाइसेस में निफ्टी 50 है. आई क्लिक ऑन निफ्टी 50 इंडेक्स. And then you will get a Excel sheet of which 50 companies are included in the Nifty 50 right now. Here it is. Download the list of Nifty 50 stocks. So वो एक Excel sheet है which will get downloaded. तो आपको 50 कंपनी का लिस्ट मिल जाएगा बच्चों. So that is a list of these 50 companies. Excel sheet is opening. I'll share the Excel sheet also with you. Have patience. So now I'm sharing my Excel sheet with you. तो ये 50 कंपनीज का लिस्ट है. अगर आप ये एक्सेल शीट में यहां पर सामने लिखते हो फ्री फ्लोट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन, वहां से कॉपी करते हो. कल तो छुट्टी है मार्केट को, कल आप कर सकते हो. टुमारो देयर इज बुद्ध बैंक हॉलिडे है, मार्केट को भी छुट्टी है मेरे हिसाब से. सो फ्री फ्लोट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन है. यहां पर हर एक कंपनी का फ्री फ्लोट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन लिखो, उसका टोटल आएगा तुमको. लेट्स अज्यूम कुछ तो है यहां पर इज इक्वल टू SUM. सो फ्री फ्लोट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन आएगा. राइट नाउ इट इज 0 क्योंकि कुछ नहीं है. फ्री फ्लोट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन वहां से कॉपी करो, उसका टोटल आएगा. दिस टोटल ऑफ फ्री फ्लोट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन ऑफ ऑल 50 कंपनीज डिवाइडेड बाय बेस मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन. बेस कितना था वो मैंने आपको ऑलरेडी बोला था. बेस वाज इक्वल टू 2,06,000 crores. Let me share PowerPoint with you. So base was 2,06,000 crore. ऐसे वो 50 कंपनी का करंट फ्री फ्लोट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन डिवाइड बाय बेस इनटू 1000. या तुमको दूसरा वर्कआउट करना है, यू कैन डू रिवर्स वर्किंग. हाउ यू कैन डू रिवर्स वर्किंग? निफ्टी का वैल्यू तुमको पता है, बट दैट यू शुड नॉट डू. यू शुड नॉट डू. 9271 is a today's Nifty value is equal to current free float market capitalization. Assume that is X divided by base. Base मैंने आपको बोला 2,06,000 था. वो कैसे मैं कैलकुलेट किया बताता हूँ. into 1000 आपको करंट फ्री फ्लोट कैपिटलाइजेशन मिल जाएगा. बट यू शुड नॉट डू दैट वे. इट इज नॉट इट. यू शुड कैलकुलेट करंट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन डिवाइड बाय बेस इनटू 1000. सो ये फॉर्मूला बहुत सिंपल था. अब ये यहां तक मैंने बेसिक एक्सप्लेन किया. अब एडवांस कंसेप्ट है, खतरनाक मजा आने वाला है अभी तुमको. अंडरस्टैंड द प्रॉब्लम. ये जो 50 कंपनीज है ना, उनका लिस्ट अगर आपने ठीक से देख लिया, देयर आर सम कंपनीज व्हिच आर नॉट देयर इन 1996. देयर आर सम कंपनीज. लेट मी शेयर द एक्सेल शीट बैक अगेन टू यू. Look at this Excel sheet again. You'll go mad. Now, Sun Pharma to tha. Okay, there were some companies, but they were not listed on the stock exchange. Let me find out the company which got included later after 1996 date of listing जिनका हुआ. So 90 बजाज फाइनेंस, बजाज फिंसर, ये जो दो कंपनीज है, ये लिस्टिंग 1996 के पहले थे, बट दे आर नॉट लिस्टेड एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है, उस टाइम पे उसका फ्री फ्लोट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन कितना था? मजा आएगा. उस टाइम पे उसका फ्री फ्लोट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन कितना था? तो वो कैलकुलेट करने के लिए वी हैव अ समथिंग कॉल्ड द डिवाइजर एडजस्टमेंट. न्यूमरेटर डिवाइडेड बाय डिवाइडर और डिवाइजर or denominator. So we have to do the adjustment to the denominator. Numerator upon denominator. What was our numerator in the formula? Our numerator in the formula was current market capitalization and denominator was a base market capitalization. तो आपको base निकालना पड़ता है. So you'll have to do the adjustment to the denominator. अब आप बोलेंगे सर एडजस्टमेंट कैसे करता है? वो करने के लिए इंडेक्स नंबर है, दैट इज एन एडवांस पार्ट. ऐसा एडजस्टमेंट रहता है. That adjustment is little complicated to explain right now, so I'm not explaining that adjustment, but दूसरे कोई adjustments मैं explain करता हूँ called the corporate action. Now let us say अभी Reliance Industry का right issue का announcement आया. If you people have read the news, Reliance Industry is going to announce a right issue whereby new shares are going to be issued by Reliance Industry to existing shareholders. तो अगर आप न्यू शेयर्स इशू करते हो तो आपका न्यूमरेटर बढ़ जाएगा. न्यूमरेटर इज व्हाट? करंट फ्री फ्लोट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन. वो तो बढ़ जाएगा, लेकिन बेस मतलब 1996 में या 1995 था डेट, एग्जैक्ट डेट. उस टाइम पे तो ये शेयर्स थे ही नहीं. सो यू नीड टू डू एडजस्टमेंट टू द डिनोमिनेटर. So where you need adjustment to the denominator, adjustments required in denominator are in case company issues a new shares through right issue, private placement, qualified institutional placement, which is same as a private placement, ADR GDR issue, warrant convergence, शेयर वारंट्स होते हैं जो कन्वर्ट किए जाते हैं शेयर्स के फॉर्म में, फॉरेन करेंसी कन्वर्टेबल बॉन्ड्स के कन्वर्जन होते हैं, एम्प्लॉय स्टॉक ऑप्शन प्लान होता है. इन केसेस में हमको डिनोमिनेटर को एडजस्टमेंट करना पड़ता है. हाउ दैट एडजस्टमेंट इज डन, माय फ्रेंड, दैट इज वेरी वेरी मैथमेटिकल प्रोसेस. It is beyond a brain level right now, and that data is also not available. I can explain you on a concept basis, but I can't explain with reference to data because I don't have the data. So just understand right now concept कैसे denominator का adjustment किया जाता है, because numerator has gone change. Because see, if you don't make an adjustment to the denominator, unnecessarily index will go up. If a company issues the shares tomorrow, index will go up. Index should not go up because of the issue of shares. Index should go up because of the change in price. अच्छा पॉइंट है, इंडेक्स शुड गो अप बिकॉज ऑफ चेंज इन प्राइस, नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ चेंज इन नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स. सो दैट्स व्हाई वी नीड एडजस्टमेंट टू द न्यूमरेटर एंड डिनोमिनेटर. मोर इंपॉर्टेंटली डिनोमिनेटर का एडजस्टमेंट, न्यूमरेटर में तो आ ही जाता है. So adjusting the denominator for a change in the market value leaves the value of index unaffected by such corporate actions. Denominator adjustments are made after the close of the trading hours, right? And no adjustment is required to the denominator in certain cases. Certain situations where there is no adjustment required at all. Which are those cases where no adjustment is required? In case of the stock split or bonus. Stock split matlab one share of face value of rupees 10 each is divided into two shares of face value of 5 each. It's called as a stock split. Or you announce a bonus. Bonus, stock split, or they do not change the market value of the company. Market value remains same, so no adjustment is required for them. Dividend के केस में adjustment may be required in case the dividend is more than 5% of the price of the shares. Otherwise, dividend के लिए भी adjustment नहीं किया जाता because it is a price index. It is not a total return index. In total return index, dividend is also adjusted. So why are you learning this Nifty 50? What is the use? This Nifty 50 is used for benchmarking, that is comparison of the mutual fund portfolios, launching index funds. Index fund is a type of a mutual fund which invests in the companies forming a part of index. You should read a book by John C. Bogle on index investing. Index investing के ऊपर एक book लिखा है. The person who coined this concept of index investing to the world is a John C. Bogle. You should read. It's a little book on investing by John C. Bogle. खतरनाक बुक है. Passive investments, my friend. India in the next 10 years or next 15 years, mark my words, 2035 to 2040, we will have a huge increase in index funds or passive investing. It is called a passive investing. Passive investing मतलब क्या? मैं इंडेक्स में पैसा डाल रहा हूं. आई एम नॉट चूजिंग द कंपनीज. मैं म्यूचुअल फंड को पैसा देता हूं और म्यूचुअल फंड को बोलता हूं, ए म्यूचुअल फंड तेरा दिमाग मत लगा. वो जो इंडेक्स में जो 50 कंपनी है, उनका जो भी वेटेज है, जो भी प्रोपोर्शन है, प्रोपोर्शन हर एक कंपनी का प्रोपोर्शन रहेगा. कैसे प्रोपोर्शन रहेगा? करंट मार्केट वैल्यू of current free float market value of that company divided by total free float market value is a weightage of all companies. See, Nifty is very simple na. Current free float market capitalization divided by base free float market capitalization of all 50 companies is a Nifty index. But एक particular company का अगर free float market capitalization लोगे divided by total free float market capitalization of all company, you will come to know weight of a particular company. तो मैं इंडेक्स म्यूचुअल फंड को बोलता हूं, म्यूचुअल फंड ये मेरा 5 लाख रुपया ले और वो निफ्टी 50 के जो कंपनीज है उनमें उसी प्रोपोर्शन में डाल, उसको बोलते हैं इंडेक्स फंड. और देयर आर इंडेक्स बेस्ड डेरिवेटिव्स, फ्यूचर्स एंड ऑप्शंस व्हिच आर क्रिएटेड बेस्ड ऑन निफ्टी 50. सो सम डेटा दैट आई एम गिवन हियर. PE ratio, price earning ratio of Nifty is around 21.34 right now. If it goes down to the, let's say, levels seen in the month of March 2020, something like 17-18 times, it's a good time to invest. 17-18 will be the good number to invest. I expect personally to Nifty to go down. I'm waiting for actually rather than expecting. Current price to book value ratio is 2.64 times of Nifty. Price to book value, price of the company, market price of the company compared to the book value. So वो जो 50 कंपनीज की book value है multiplied by 2.64 is your price. Current dividend yield, dividend as a percentage of market price, is around 1.64%. One of the measure of volatility is a standard deviation, which is 24%. How to calculate standard deviation? I'll be making separate video. Nifty का actual calculation जो है वो उसका भी मैं अलग वीडियो बनाने वाला हूँ. आज मैं concept explain कर रहा हूँ. I'm going to make a 2-3 recorded videos. These are not going to be live. Recorded videos I'm going to make up. Where one video I will show the calculation of Nifty and the weightage of individual stock, and how a change in the price affects a index to change. That is called an index mover. Movers and shakers बोलते हैं इसको. What stocks are moving the index? Actually, movers and shakers was a term that was used by that actor. शेखर कुछ तो था मेरे हिसाब से, शेखर कपूर या गुप्ता, whatever. So ऐसे इंडेक्स में इंडेक्स मूवर होता है, इंडेक्स ड्रैगर होता है, तो उसके ऊपर अलग वीडियो बनाएगा. स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन के ऊपर मैं अलग वीडियो बनाएगा. CAGR, compounded annual growth rate of Nifty since inception, is 9.79%. Now imagine you have invested since 1996 till now. Returns are 10% per annum approximately, but this is 10% per annum tax free, almost tax free, because long-term capital gain are exempted from tax except from the 31st Jan 2018. That is when the Arun Jaitley had introduced a long-term capital gain with the grandfathering clause. But they're tax free है. बट अगर आप डिविडेंड वगैरह कंसीडर करोगे बच्चों, निफ्टी ने जो रिटर्न दिया है 11.4% रिटर्न है सिंस इंसेप्शन टिल यस्टरडे. 11.4% पर एनम. दैट इज इवन आफ्टर द कोरोना वायरस पीरियड का मार्केट फॉल. 11.4% पर एनम रिटर्न दिया है फॉर लास्ट 24 इयर्स टैक्स फ्री. तो अगर आप इनकम, इसके ऊपर टैक्स नहीं भरना है आपको लगभग. सो इफ यू वांट टू कंपेयर विद द रियल एस्टेट माय फ्रेंड, इसको आपको टैक्स के लिए एडजस्टमेंट करना पड़ेगा. रफली योर रिटर्न इज 15% बिफोर टैक्स. 15% रिटर्न दिया है निफ्टी ने बिफोर टैक्स, क्योंकि ये 11.4% इज आफ्टर पेमेंट ऑफ टैक्स. यू डोंट हैव टू पे टैक्स, बट फॉर कंपैरिजन पर्पस रियल एस्टेट या गोल्ड या बाकी के एसेट क्लासेस से अगर आप कंपेयर करना चाहोगे तो हियर इट इज 12% for whom those who have remained passively invested right from the date when it was launched till today. Those who have remained invested, 11.4% is what they earn on a per annum basis. That's what I'm trying to say. In India, in the next 15 years to come, passive investments are going to increase a lot. Today only I bought Nifty ETF of ICICI Bank. I bought a small quantity of rupees 3 lakh only. उतना ही पैसा था बैंक मतलब ब्रोकर के अकाउंट में. So how can you make an investment in the Nifty? You can invest through the exchange traded fund, ETF, Nifty ETF. The best Nifty ETF right now in the market is ICICI Prudential Nifty ETF. Actually, all Nifty ETFs are more or less similar, but I like ICICI Prudential Nifty ETF. It is a mutual fund, kind of. Exchange traded fund or index fund. Both are concept-wise same. The minor difference is ETF are traded on a stock exchange. Index fund is through the mutual fund. ETF is on a stock exchange. Index fund is not on the stock exchange. Doesn't really make a big difference. So if you are looking for a passive investment, you should look at Nifty ETF or Nifty index fund. If Nifty in this particular month of May, due to the coronavirus, comes down to the levels of 8,500, if at all, my friend, you should invest a good amount of money in Nifty ETFs. 8,500 seems to be tough because government can introduce a fiscal package. But if at all it comes somewhat down, you should be investing good amount of money in Nifty ETF, my friend. Next 20 years, you will be able to create a huge wealth, huge wealth, because you are investing at a not rock bottom right now. There is still Nifty. Historically, Nifty has gone even below the valuations at which it is right now. Right now, the valuation is 21.34 times. Price to earning ratio is 21.34. It has gone even below 21.34 many times. So it's a good chance. I expect that to come down. I'm waiting for that to come down. अगर आ गया तो Nifty ETF या Nifty Index Fund तुम खरीद सकते हो. बिंदास आग बंद करके खरीदना. Last concept of the lecture, and this is a massive, too good concept. Last point here. Nifty 50 USD. ये अच्छा पॉइंट है, दिमाग लगाना है यहां पर, दिमाग चाहिए मुझे. बच्चों आज अपना निफ्टी है 9270 6 मई को, निफ्टी प्राइस इंडेक्स. बट जो फिरंगी लोग इंडिया में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं उनके लिए निफ्टी ज्यादा रेलेवेंट नहीं है, बिकॉज दे हैव टू कन्वर्ट डॉलर इनटू आईएनआर and then they buy Nifty, and then when they want the money back to money to be taken back to their country, it is again INR has to be converted into dollar. So it affects the returns. Exchange rate also affects their returns. To understand how much return the foreign investors have really earned, we have to understand the concept of Nifty 50 USD. I have seen illiterate public. There is one student, actually he's a chartered accountant now, but he said, sir, कितना आसान concept है ये Nifty 50 US dollar में calculate करने का. आज का Nifty कितना है? 9271. Multiplied by exchange rate as on today 75. Let's say 9200 into 75 हो गया. That is educated illiterate. Nifty 50 USD is an index created to understand returns earned by foreigners while investing in Nifty. But foreigner can't invest directly in rupees. He has dollars. He has to convert dollar into rupee, and then रुपीज में उसका इन्वेस्टमेंट होता है, और फिर उसको जब डॉलर वापस लेके जाना है तो रिटर्न्स अफेक्ट हो जाते हैं. कैसे? इसके लिए इंडेक्स है. ब्यूटी दिस इज कॉन्सेप्ट. आई एम गोइंग टू प्रूव दिस इन एक्सेल. इट्स अ ब्यूटी कॉन्सेप्ट. इंडेक्स कैलकुलेशन फॉर्मूला देखो नीचे क्या है. फॉर्मूला नहीं समझेगा तुमको देख के, एक्सेल में मैं समझाऊंगा. हैव पेशेंस. क्लोजिंग वैल्यू ऑफ निफ्टी 50 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय एक्सचेंज रेट एज ऑन टुडे. सॉरी, माय मिस्टेक. मल्टीप्लाइड बाय एक्सचेंज रेट एज ऑन बेस डेट. बेस डेट वाज 1995, मेरे पास है उसका रेट. डिवाइडेड बाय नॉट मल्टीप्लाइड बाय, डिवाइडेड बाय एक्सचेंज रेट एज ऑन टुडे, दैट इज 6th May. टुडे एक्सचेंज रेट इज नॉट 4238. दिस निफ्टी 50 USD इज 4238. अब इसका मतलब क्या है ये यहां से नहीं समझेगा तुमको. लेट मी क्रिएट अ एक्सेल शीट फॉर यू. आई शेयर्ड द एक्सेल शीट विथ यू, सो जस्ट अ सेकंड. यू विल बी now able to see calculations. I'm doing some calculations for you. Understand karo, khatarnak concept hai. Last concept for the day, then we are done for it. What is the base date? Base date was 3rd of November 1995, right? 3rd November 1995. Nifty value at that time was 1000, right? Nifty value was 1000. Exchange rate on base date at that time it was 34.65 1995 में. अंडरस्टैंड करो ठीक से. 34.65. तो इमेजिन करो a foreign investor from United States wanted to buy Nifty, one quantity of Nifty, let's say that is equal to 1000. अज्यूम करो ये कमोडिटी है, 1000 रुपीज में खरीदना है तुमको, राइट? एक्सचेंज रेट कितना है? 34.65. 34.65 was exchange rate. Please understand this. बच्चों निफ्टी वैल्यू this is 1000 in INR, right? 1000 in INR. Please concentrate carefully. So to buy one Nifty, to buy one Nifty, how much rupees will be required? 1000 Nifty आपको buy करना है, कुछ dollars लगेंगे आपको. You'll require some dollars, right? 34.65 is exchange rate. Concentrate कर ला, मैं इन दोनों का multiplication करता हूं. 34.65 into 1000, 34,650 INR. 34,650 INR. Firangi investor invests $1,000. Let's say Mr. Philip invests 1,000 USD in India. Just wait. 1,000 USD उसने इंडिया में इन्वेस्ट किया. 1,000 USD ले लो इन्वेस्टमेंट, right? So INR received by him कितना होगा? On that particular day, INR received will be 34,650 because $1,000 उसने लाया into 34.65 is 34,650 INR. Correct? 34,650 INR उसको मिल गया, ये मिल गया. Nifty 50 was 1,000 base value, right? Base value was 34,000 of Nifty. Just wait. Quantity of Nifty purchased. उसको कितना रुपया मिला था? 34,650 rupees मिला था उसको. Divided by 1,000. Divided by 1,000 was the value of one Nifty. So 34.65 Nifties he bought. Approximately. ठीक है? Quantity of Nifty purchase. What is the present rate of Nifty? Present rate of Nifty is 9271. So what is the value of investment for Mr. Philip in INR? For Philip, value of investment will be 34.65 quantity which he had bought into 9271. उसका वैल्यू हो गया 3,21,000 rupees in INR. INR ये उसने कितना इन्वेस्ट किया था बच्चों? 34,650 INR इन्वेस्ट किया था, उसका वैल्यू हो गया 3,21,000. बट सच में उसके लिए INR का रिटर्न रिलेवेंट नहीं है. व्हाट इज रिलेवेंट टू मिस्टर फिलिप इज अ डॉलर रिटर्न. तो व्हाट इज द प्रेजेंट एक्सचेंज रेट? प्रेजेंट एक्सचेंज रेट is 75.50. Let's say this is INR per USD. INR per USD. So what is value of investment of Mr. Philip in USD terms? In dollar terms, what is the value? 3,21,000 divided by 75.5. This is USD. बच्चों कॉमन सेंस क्या बोलता है? How much Philip had invested? Investment by Philip देखो over the years 1,000 USD. Investment on 3rd November 95 is 1,000 USD. Value of that investment on 6th May 20 is equal to 4,254 USD. Right? So बच्चों return earned by Mr. Philip CAGR is much lower. CAGR निकालना तुमको, यहाँ पे क्या करना पड़ता है? तुमको डेट लिखना पड़ेगा. Date 3rd November 95 and today is 6th May 2020. उसने 1,000 इन्वेस्ट किया रहेगा तो वो आउटफ्लो करके लिखा था. अब रेट देखो, रेट ऑफ रिटर्न हाउ मच इज अर्न्ड बाय अ फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर. एक निकालने के लिए कंसेप्ट होता है XIRR का. XIRR का एक फॉर्मूला एक्सेल में. CAGR निकालने के लिए, कंपाउंडेड एनुअल ग्रोथ रेट निकालने के लिए. वैल्यूज आर दीज, डॉलर टर्म्स में वैल्यूज है. डेट्स आर दीज. गेस आई डोंट वांट टू गिव. रिटर्न अर्न्ड बाय मिस्टर फिलिप, दिस इज प्राइस रिटर्न, दिस इज नॉट इंक्लूडिंग डिविडेंड. 6.808% per annum. So if a US investor came in 1996 and invested in India and remained invested till today, he has earned 6.08% per annum. Indian investors have earned more. Let us calculate for Indian. For Indian, what we have to do? Date है और value है. Here I am going to take a value in INR. INR value देखो, INR value 1,000 था, but INR में आज का value 9271 है. अब बोलेंगे सर दोनों 1,000 है, हमारे निफ्टी का वैल्यू 1,000 था ना उस टाइम पे INR में भी. See, I assumed his investment is 34,650 INR. And I kept his $1,000. बच्चों देखो return देखो magic होने वाला है. Return will be higher. XIRR values dates is 9.51%. 9.51%. वो जो मैंने वहां पे CAGR लिखा था was approximately CAGR यहाँ पे लिखा था मैंने Excel sheet में was 9.7 something. Minor difference है. 9.51% is what Indians have earned by investing in Nifty. Foreigners have earned 6.08. That is because of depreciation of Indian rupee. तो concept क्या तुमने सीखना चाहिए? Concept note down करके रखो तुम्हारे पास. If Indian rupee depreciates, foreign investors earn lesser return than what Indian investors earn. Or in a generic terms, if I say, if a home currency of a country, that is India, Indian rupee depreciates, home currency depreciates, then foreigners earn less return on their investments in a country than what domestic investors earn. Domestic investors have earned 9.51, foreigners have earned 6.08%. They have earned 6.08%. That is basically because of depreciation of इंडियन रूपी. जब फॉरेनर्स ने इंडियन रूपी इन्वेस्ट किया था तब उनको 34.65 का एक्सचेंज रेट था. 34 के रेट पे उन्होंने डॉलर बेचा. See, it's basically because when they sold a dollar, $1,000 and they bought rupees, they bought it at 34.65. Because they sold dollars at 34.65 and when they have to buy a dollar back, they are buying it at 75.5. So 34 और 75 का जो फर्क है उसकी वजह से वो डिफरेंस है. Eligibility criteria मैंने यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है. You can go through that. I'm going to share the in a description afterwards. After 5 minutes, I will upload the this PowerPoint presentation. That's it. So my friend, it was a wonderful discussion on calculation of Nifty and some things. Exact Excel calculations are not shown in today's video. I told you that I'll make separate videos for that. Objective was to explain the concept. I'm done with the concept. Thank you. Thank you.